Okay, fine. So today in this session, we will learn about the directives. Okay. So we understood why we, in our previous session, we have learned why we need these directives. So what is the purpose that directives will solve us in Angular? Not only in Angular, in any framework we take. So what is the purpose of these directives? We have learned it. And also we have created a basic custom directive. Okay. That is nothing but an highlighting a text with a background color. So where is that directive? Let me show you the directive which we have implemented. Yeah. So this is the directive, of which this directive, if you apply for any element, for any HTML element, so like this. So this is the thing we need to practice it. Okay, let's leave it this one. Yeah. So if you apply this directive as an attribute, okay, so this one is an attribute selector to any HTML element, so it will try to take that element, okay, whatever the element you are applying, it will be injected into this constructor, and on init means when this directive is initialized. So we are trying to change this one dot style dot background color is equal to red. Okay, so this is the thing we have learned. Now if you try to, we will try to see the output for this one. So if I try to see the output, okay, so we are able to get the red color. So we have applied the directive in the two places. So that is the reason we are getting for the two elements in the red color. So fine. So this one is fine. Now let's, before continuing to this further more about the directive thing, I want to tell you about the another concept that is nothing but a renderer. Okay. So renderer 2, actually previously it was there, renderer is there. Afterwards it has been converted to renderer 2. So here, so renderer 2 is a class. Okay, so it's a class file. So it is used to implement the custom rendering. Custom rendering means by default Angular renders a template into a DOM. So template means nothing but our component template. Okay, you can use custom rendering to intercept rendering calls or to rendering to something other than DOM. So by using this renderer method, so we can play on this one HTML DOM element. Why? Because I already told you that we cannot use this document dot get element by class name of something like we will be using, okay, class name you will be using, and you will get an element here, native element here, and you will apply the same concept here. Okay, so using this concept, okay, you need to keep it as a 0. So using this concept and this concept is one and the same only. Why? Because here up to here you will get a native element, and here also you are getting the native element only. And now for you are applying the style dot background color is equal to red. So that means, so we are trying to change the DOM structure using the JavaScript and these all things. So because of that one, Angular has introduced a class. Okay, a class is nothing but an renderer 2, which we can use this one to manipulate the DOM elements. Okay, so using this renderer 2, we can manipulate the DOM elements. Something like, for example, if you want to set the style, so you have a method set style. Okay, you pass the element and you, so basically what it will try to do is it will preserve the Angular features and all those things for the template thing, and it will try to modify the element using this renderer 2. So if you try to apply using the JavaScript and all those things, so something may be broken. Why? Because Angular uses the two-way binding. These are all the concepts it will be using, right? So for the dynamically injected element through the JavaScript, maybe the Angular features will not work. Because of this reason, so the Angular has given us a renderer 2 class. So if you want to modify any DOM element by using these methods, so these are all the methods available. So you will not see these all the elements. So if you try to see, you'll be able to understand. So creating an element, creating a text, append child, insert before, remove child, parent node. These are all the things we have learned in our JavaScript itself. But this Angular has provided a class for us to set the value, to set a property, set an attribute, remove attribute, add class, remove class. So these are all the things is there for an JavaScript primitive thing also. But here also it will be, you need to use this renderer 2 to apply the DOM type of things. So now, for example, in order to apply here, what we can do is first we need to inject the renderer, okay, of type renderer 2. So where this should be down, it should be imported from the here Angular core. So at the top you'll be able to see. So if you are not able to see it, so now I have removed this one. and I have removed this one. So here you need to write renderer2. If you press Control space bar, and you'll be able to get. So it's gone, I think. It's trying to search it. Oh, wait, that one enter thing has gone. Yeah. So here you got this renderer2, right? So renderer2, we have injected this one. Now what I need to do, I want to set the background color for that element. So what I can do, this dot renderer dot. So here you will be able to have a couple of methods which we have seen it, right? The methods for a class. So in this one, which one I want? Set style. Okay, set style. So here we are able to get it. Now if you hover here in this set style, you will be able to see that it is taking three parameters. First one is the element, that is nothing but a native element we need to provide, and next one is the style, which you want to change the style, and also last one is the value, and another one is a flags thing. So that is a optional thing. Okay, here you'll be able to see. Okay, no flags are set by default, flags for style variation. So here we need to submit must and should, three values should be there: el, style, and value. So el means nothing but the element thing. So here I can use this dot element dot native element. Okay, and the style I want to change is the background color, background hyphen color, and I want to change this one to red, or otherwise this time I will change it to green. That's it. So instead of using that native element and all those things, we need to use the renderer. Now if I try to see the output for this one, now I am able to see the green color. So the same thing is applying, but in this time we have used the renderer concept. Okay, this is the renderer, we need to use it. So let's try to add here, create a basic customer renderer2. So we have learned why we need to use the renderer. So it is a wrapper for the DOM manipulation in Angular only. So it is a wrapper, to manipulate DOM elements instead of using native JavaScript. Okay. So next one is, first we'll learn about the host binding. So in our Angular, we have another concept that is nothing but an host binding, or otherwise first we'll learn about the host listener. And host listener will be very easy rather than the host binding. So host listener means what I want to do is, what I can say is, for example, now this one is in the green color, right? So now I am able to see that this one is in the green color. Now what I want to do is here, when I hover here, let's try to remove one of the things. So it's getting in app content child, I think maybe it will be present. So we'll try to maintain only one thing, app content child. Yeah, let's try to remove this one for the time sake. Let's try to have only one. Yeah. So now what I want to do is here, if I am trying to, this one is not saving or what? Still not saving. Background. Okay. So now if I try to see this one, so we are having only one area, right? One element only, right? Now if I want to hover in this one, okay, if I have hover in this one, it should convert it into red color. If I come out of this one, it should be in yellow color. If I hover it again, it should be in the red color, and it should be in the hover yellow color. So when I am entering into this one, it should be red color. When I am coming out of this one, it should be in the yellow color. So this type of events I wanted. So not only the mouse enter and mouse leave, you can also add the click event and all the things also you could do. So now let's try to do it. So in our directive, so now we know that for our app component.html, let's try to close these all things. We cannot get confused. Yeah, so this is the only one which is responsible for us, right? Now this element, when I mouse enter, normally what you will try to do. So here when I mouse enter, I need to change the value. Okay, so change the value. So you'll write some method, and when you are trying to do mouse leave, okay, so when you are trying to do mouse leave, when you want to change another value, so you'll call another method. So like this you'll try to do. In the same scenario, if you are having another element, something like that, means for this one also you will write the same methods and you will do the same thing. But this should not happen like this. So now what I can do is, so I will remove this mouse center and mouse sleeve. Okay. Now what I will try to do is, let's go to this directive, and here I will add host listener. Okay, so this host listener is nothing but for binding the events in the directive. So first one is the mouse center. Mouse center. So in this one, what I can do is, so you can have whatever the name you want, you can have it. So just I am trying to keep it the same name, mouse enter. Mouse enter. And if you you will also get an event. And here what I will try to do is, on mouse enter, what I can do here, so we want to change it to red color or something like that. So I can copy this one and I can paste it here. So I want to change it to red color. Okay. And another one is on mouse sleeve. So you can copy here and you can paste it at the down. This time this should behave in a on mouse sleeve. Okay. So this one is method. So you can have your own method on mouse sleeve. And you can have something like yellow. So normally what the people will try to do is, so they will have a method highlight color or apply background color. Stop repeating the code. So they will get the color, okay, of type string. These are all the things we need to mention. So now I can use this renderer style inside this one. Okay, let's try to unify this one now so that you can be able to see. Yeah, so here this color will be like this. That's it. So now what I will try to do here, this one I can take, and this time I need to apply this dot apply background color. I need to send a value. Oh, sorry, I need to send the value yellow. And here what I will try to do is, I will try to do the same thing. This dot apply background color. This time I need to send a red. And here on ngInit also there is no need, so you can have the first time. So when it is loaded, apply background color green. If you want, you can also keep green. Okay. Yeah. So like this you can refactor your code. So this is the different thing, but you need to understand the concept. So here I have applied a host listener, that is nothing but a mouse center on mouse sleeve. So on when the mouse enter is entered into this background highlight directive, the element which is having this directive, it should apply a background color of red. And when you are trying to mouse sleeve, so it should apply a background color of yellow. So this is a common method which we have used. Now let's try to see the output. So first time it is in the green color only. So that means the default color. So we have applied that one. When I hover here, it has converted into red. When I move out of this one, it has converted into yellow. So this is the thing I want to apply. Okay, red and yellow. I don't know. Okay, red and yellow. We are able to see it, right? So this is how we can do it. Now we have applied the same logic inside this one. Now I want to get the same functionality here also. So now if I try to apply this one, so there is no need for you to write again the mouse enter and mouse sleeve, those all things. Now you apply this directive so that this one also behaves in the same way only. If I try to see here, see, it applies the same way, and this one also applies the same way. So by writing this is the usage of the directive actually. So now if you are having a same for the HTML template element, if you want to apply some same functionality, you can use the directives concept. So this is how we can do this one host listener. So not only this one, so you can also use the click event also. So you can use the click event, and you can say click, I don't know what it will apply or not. So why? Because already it will be in the mouse center. Let's try to see something like pink color. Pink already it will be there, I think. Blue color, let's try to say blue color, it will apply or not. So if I go into this one, see, I clicked on this one, it has applied. So if I click on this one, it has applied. So that means, so you can apply whatever the host listeners you want, you can apply. This is about the host listeners. Okay. And we also have another concept that is nothing but an host binding. So using the renderer we have applied, right? Using the host binding also, we can apply the element. So for example, let's say that using this renderer also you can do it. For example, let's say that for what is the thing you want to change for this element. I want to change the style background color, style dot background color. So if you want to change this one, so the element, so whatever the thing you are having, you can apply this one, host binding. Okay, host binding. The thing what I want to change is the style dot background color. So this is the thing I want to change, and you can apply the color of type string, and you can mention it as default green. Okay, and now so you can do this one, so there is no need to apply this one. Okay, why? Because I already the color is green, that's it. And here there is no need of this one applying, and there is no need of doing this one all. Okay, you can remove this one all. And also what I can do is, so here also you can remove this one all. And what I can do is, here instead of when I have host binded this one, so I can just change this one. So this dot color is equal to, on mouse enter it should be red, I think red, and on mouse click this should be blue, and on mouse sleeve this should be yellow. That's it. So anyways we can change it. So this is somewhat linear and code, right? So now what I can do here, if I try to check this output, so now it is in green. So now here if I try to do the same thing is happening, but so we have used in a smarter way. Now there is no need for you to inject these all the things. Okay, so using this host binding, so we are able to change everything code. So the same thing will apply. Okay, so the same thing will apply. So this is the use of this host binding. Host binding means nothing but what I can say is the element style dot background color I want to change, I can bind that one to the host, so that I can assign it to one variable. So whatever the variable I am trying to change, so this style dot background color will be changed automatically for that host binding element. So this is the use of this host binding. So with host binding we can do it very simpler way. So normally the people will be doing the host binding. So with this host binding we can do it like render also you can do it, not a problem. So this one will be you will be having a less code. So this is about the host binding. So this is about the host binding and the host listener. So host binding means the element it will bind, and the native properties, the DOM element properties, if you want to change, you can bind it to this one and you can change it according to this one. Okay, and host listener is, you can bind the events to this one, events to the element. So this is the host binding and the host listener. And another one is an ng non-bindable. This is simple thing only, nothing is there to tell in this one. So what I want to tell you is, for example, let's say that I am having a div element. Here I will try to do 1 plus 1. Okay, so what could be the output? So whatever the thing you are trying to write in the string interpolation, so it will be a JavaScript and it will execute it and it will show you the output of 2. So I am able to get the 2. Fine, so it's correct. Okay, these are not in the container, so that is the reason it's coming. Yeah, let's try to see the output. So now I am able to see it is an out 2. So but I want to display the same output like this only. So then what I can do is I can use ng on bindable. Okay, like this. So I can use this attribute so that the element will not be binded. So for example, if I try to use the output, it is not saving or what? It has been saved. Now let's try to see it. Spelling mistake or what is it one? ng non-bindable. I didn't remember the name exactly. Where is this one? HTML. Yeah, I think it will be something like this. I think I didn't remember. Let's try to see. Yeah, so now you are able to see this one, right? So like this we can use it. But now for example, let's say that I want to apply this ng non-bindable to this one. So now you need to understand that whether this applied directive will work or not, we need to see. So now if you try to see the output, still if you try to apply the ng non-bindable, then also this directive is working. So if you want this directive not to work, means what we need to do is we need to wrap it to the parent element, ng non-bindable, not to the element which the directive is having. So this here you need to apply, sorry, ng non-bindable. Let's try to copy this one and paste it. Yeah, now this time So this element is not applying. So why? Because it is the parent element is having ng non-bindable. So the directive is not applying, whereas this one you will get able to see it. So why? Because it is in the another component, content child component. So this one is in the app component. So for this one it is not applying. Not only this one, for example, let's say that in our app component.html, let's say that what is that one, app component.ts. Let's say we are having a user data, right? Let's try to show it here. So div user data. I will try to close the div. Okay. I don't know why my system has become very slow. Everything is getting stuck. Yeah. So now it has been saved. Or if I try to see the output, so we are able to see the Leela, right? But if you apply this ng non-bindable, so nothing will be binded to this one. You can see the output as it is. Okay. So this is use of ng non-bindable. So this is one of the ng non-bindable. So we have learned about the directives, custom directives. These all things we have learned it, right? Now we need to learn about how to send data to the directives. Okay. So how we can send the data to the directives. This one, add events also we have learned it. So this is not a thing. So structural directive. So create custom. We will try to learn this one also. Create custom structural directive. Can finish it off. So now let's try to see how we can send data to the directives. Now if you go here, so what I want to do is how we can send the data to the directives. Let's say that I am having an app component.html. So now this one is having app background color highlight, and let's try to remove this non-bindable. Let's try to keep it those things. Now let's say that we are having another element here. We'll try to have here only class is equal to my-3, and another class is equal to my-3, and let's go to this content child. I don't know where is this one. Let's remove this one. Now let's go to this one again, app component, and here we are having a 2 background highlight color. Now what I want to do is, so both are behaving the same way, but here if you try to see, when I am hovering I am able to see red color, when I am coming out I am able to see the yellow color. I don't want this behavior. What I want is when I hover, okay, so when I hover, when I enter or something like this, when I enter, the color should be something like blue, and when we can mention it as a string, and when I leave, okay, when I leave, so the color should be something like black or something, what I can say, any color, pink or something like this, you'll see. Okay, so these are the 2 properties. So now we can also send data to this one. So when I enter, I want this one to be blue. When I leave, I want this one to be pink. Okay, so now how can we catch these things? So let's go to the directive, and here we are having a background highlight directive. So for this one to catch, what we can do is, here you can add an input property. This is nothing but an component type only, so you don't think that directive is a separate thing. So input, so we got the enter, okay, it is of string value, the default one will be empty or something like this, and you can take this input, and another one is a leave, so this is also of type string, and this one will be empty. Okay, okay, now so when this mouse entered, I want to apply this color to be, this one is saving. So now when I leave this one, try to take areas one, leave, and here I will be applying leave color like this. Okay, enter color I can use. So we can also use the alias name also if you want. So maybe the result keywords it is having. So now you can say that this dot enter color, so you can have this enter color, and here when it is on click, let's leave it. So when I leave, I need to have this dot leave color. Okay, that's it. So now if I try to see this one, okay, when I hover, I am able to see blue, and this time I am able to see pink. So whatever the values we are trying to send, I am able to apply those colors only. So this is how we can send the values to the directives. So here what I have did it, So this is how I can. Now if I try to send, if I try to over here, I'm able to see it as a white color. Why? Because by default what I have given, so if I didn't pass, if I don't pass this, for this one, no enter and leave is passing. So if you try to see here, the default color, if we didn't pass this enter color and leave color, is empty only. So that is the reason it is showing nothing color. Now if you pass anything, so it will try to show you. For example, if I try to say for this one, enter should be yellow. Okay, so if there is no need to use this. Property binding means when you are trying to bind a variable. So if you are not trying to bind a variable, so you can use like this also, not a problem. Don't get confused with this one. So leave is equal to, I want to apply for this one orange, let's say. Let's try to see the output for this both things. So now if I try to apply, so this one is okay. For this one, yellow and orange, see. So each one is behaving in a different way. So depending on the inputs what we are trying to send it. Okay, now you maybe so for example, let's say that I want to have a default color. So this time when you are trying to see the first time loading, the default color is green, right? So I don't want that green color. So I want to mention this default color. So what I can do is, normally we know that ng class, right? So we will be, how we will be doing, ng class is equal to, so for the this is a directive. For the directive itself we are writing the data, right? So we know that this is also a directive. So for this directive also you can write the data. ng class is equal to, let's say that the default value for this one is yellow. So you can send the value like this. Okay, so if you have a variable binded to this one, so you can add a square bracket for like this. So app background color, this one is an yellow. For this one, the default color, it should be something like pink. Okay, so now you can use this, you can use this default color. So how can I catch this one in this directive? So here I can use at the rate input. Okay, so the same name, so this name only I can add it as an alias, and I can say something like the variable name called default color string. Okay, so default I can keep it as a white. So if the user doesn't pass anything, now the user has passed it. So on ng on init, so on ng on it, where is this on ng on it, on ng on it? So this one is empty. ng on init or constructor also you can use it. This dot color is equal to this dot default color. That's it, finished. Now let's try to see the output. See, the default color for this one is yellow and this one is pink. If I hover, so this one is coming, and if I hover for this one, so like this it is coming. So this is how we will be sending data to the directives. So we have sent the multiple values to the directive, and also to the directive itself we have assigned it and I sent it, and I am able to use that one here also. So this is how we will be sending to the directive. This is all whole about the attribute directives. So we have understood about the attribute directives. Now let's try to move on to the, so now we have finished sending data to the directives also. So both multiple data and also single data we have completed it. So the last one what we need to learn about the directives is the structural directives. Already we have an overview about the structural directives, how the structural directives, these all things works in the Angular. I will try to recap it once again so that you will try to understand it before creating a custom structural directive. So let's try to start it. So here let's go into this one. What I will try to do is, so structural directive, let's leave it. So let's go to this one. Let's create a new component so that you'll be able to understand. NGGC, okay, something what I can say, otherwise you'll try to use it here only. What happened, so you'll be able to understand. So here I am trying to create custom structural directive. So first of all we need to understand what is a structural directive. Okay, structural directive, so structural directive means, for example, let's say that which will change the manipulate the DOM. So that means adding or removing the DOM element, the element in the DOM. For removing that one we use the structural directive, whereas this attribute directive doesn't change anything, it will change the attributes only. So it will not remove the DOM, it will not remove the element from the DOM or something like that. So it will change the attributes or something like that. So that is the reason it is called as an attribute directive, whereas the structural directive means it will change the structure of the DOM. That is the reason it is called as a structural directive. So normally the examples of structural directives are ng if ng for, so these are the normal structural directives which we know. So let's try to see. Ng switch is also there. We'll try to see. Ng switch is a very rare case we'll be using. So instead of adding the logics in the template side, we can use that one in the logic side and we can render it. Why? Because the template, we will get confused if you add more logics in those, all those things in the template. So now let's try to see about the structural directive ngf and ngf. Let's go to this one. Where is this app component.ts file? Let's say we have an variable is available. So default it is a true. Okay, so is available. I am having a variable is available and default it is a true. Let's go into this one and let's have a div, and I will apply ngif, and I will try to do is available. Is available. Okay, so now if it is available, just still try to see. So I am trying to use structural directive. Okay, so now when I apply is available, we are able to see this one. So let's try to see the output. So now here I am able to see the output. Why? Because is available is true. So because of that reason I am able to see. If I try to keep this one as a false, okay, if I try to keep this one as a is available as a false, so then what will happen here? The output, so gone, the output is gone. So here if I try to see, so that means this ngif is trying to change the DOM element. So it is trying to, so it is deciding that whether to add this element in the DOM or remove that element in the DOM. So now we can also write this ngif in a different way. So that is nothing but, so this structural, don't think this star, keeping the star beside before as a prefix for a directive, don't think that that is a different type of notation. Actually this is a shorthand notation, writing the shorthand notation in order to have a differentiation between the like this. So at directives, so attribute directive and also structural directive, in order to have a difference. So we will be having a shorthand notation. We will have a prefix of star so that we can able to identify it. So this one, instead of writing like this, we can also write like this also. So as I already shown you. Okay, so ngif, this one is also a structural so one kind of attribute directive only. So this one is what it will try to do is, when Angler sees that one as a star as a prefix, it is a shorthand notation. It's a shortcut notation for writing that one. If it sees a star behind this one, so it will try to add an ng template. Okay, ng template. We already explained you about this ng template. What is the use of this ng template? And it will try to apply this ng for this one as an attribute directive, and it will try to use is available here. Is available here, and I'm able to apply this div. Okay, here, that's it. So that's it. This is the demo of the structural directive, and ngif we have applied. So the Angler will convert the same thing into like this ng template, like this div ngif is equal is available, ng template is available, like this. It will try to complete it. Now if you try to observe, okay, now if you try to observe this one, if I try to see the output, the same thing happens. If I try to make, like, let's try to add a button here. I'll be having a button toggle, and if I try to use the click event for this one, let's try to use the click event, and I will try to use is available is equal to not of is available. Where is it gone? So I am toggling this one. So let's try to see. So here if I am clicking, I am able to see it. If I am moving, I am able to hide it. So now this, both of this one are working. Why? Because one is implemented using the star ngif and another one is implemented using the ng template. So this representation is nothing but the Angler will convert into like this only. So that means this is a structure, not a structural directive. This is an attribute directive. How we have used this app background highlight color. In the same scenario, we are using this one, but we are using a square bracket because of we are using the variable here, but here not using the variable. That is the reason we haven't used this property bind. Now for the center we have used it. See, so like this we can also use it for this one also. So now let's try to create our own custom directive, custom structural directive, something like implementation of this if only. We'll try to do this if only, but we will have our own implementation. So let's say that I will be creating a directive, okay, alternate, so alternate if okay, alternate if I am trying to create dot directive dot ts, okay. So this is our I have written spelling mistake, so let's try to give alternative, okay. Alternative, so this is our alternative. So now in this one we need to create a directive, so this is a directive, so let's have to have a export class alternate if directive, and this is an if directive, and here you can have directive, and this should be imported from the Angular code, so you need to understand. So when I'm writing, it is automatically imported, so don't think that I am not writing, so like that, you don't think that. So you need to import it from the, so now you need to have a selector here. So this one is something like attribute, I need to have alternate, otherwise some app alternate if, okay. So this is my name. Now let's try to have the logic for this one. So let's say that we have a constructor, okay. So we are having a constructor. Now let's go into this one. Let's go into this HTML file, and now what I want to do, so I want to apply the same thing, but this time I want to use my app alternate if, okay. So this is our if ng, so instead of we are replicating this ng, but we are using our own thing. So when I try to use like this, so it should toggle, so this toggle should work exactly like if. Now app alternative, so this time what I am trying to say is, whenever we are trying, so now normally what we'll try to get here, where is this one? So normally we will be getting injected the element, right? So we will be getting the injected the element ref, right? But this time we will not get this element ref. Why? Because so we are using a star here, so that means, so here we are getting ng template, okay. So we are not getting the HTML element, we are getting something like ng template. So that means in this alternate directive, so what we will get is template ref, okay. Template, we'll get a template. So this is of type template ref, template ref. So this is of type template ref. This should be imported from here. And the another one, so template ref will expect the thing element, so you can keep it as an any, it's not a problem. So that's it. So now let's try to go to the ng on init. So ng on init, okay. So now what I want to do is, so we will be getting an what is this, is still saving, yeah. So what I want to do is, so now I want to get the variable. So here I will be having I'll be sending a variable, right? Data, I'm sending some data to this alternative. So now we need to catch that one. So what I can do here, @input, okay. So let's import this input. So you can have any name, so not any name, so this one is our this one, right? So this one you can have this one, okay. App alternate, hey, what is app alternate, otherwise we can copy this one, array, Control C, Control V, yeah. App alternate. Oh, why my system is being very weird. App alternate ref if, okay. So the same name, so what is the name you are using here, so we need to use it here. So it is of type boolean, okay. So you can keep it as false or something like this for the timing. So you have default value. So now app alter on when, so what I need to do is here, so if this dot app alternative is there, if it is true is there, means then need to show the element, okay. Or otherwise if it is not true, means I need to remove the element, okay. Remove the element. Here what I need to show or add, okay, whatever the thing, okay. So here if it is, if this one is, if we are getting this one as a false, is available is a false, means I need to remove that element. What is that element I need to remove? To which this app alternative is applied. So now what I want to do is here, so I want to add an element or remove an element. So where I need to add an element, remove an element? In this container, okay, in this view container. This one is called as a view container. So this all template is binded to a view container, okay. So whatever the template we are trying to see, this is completely is in view container. So now we need to add the element from the view container, and we need to remove the element from the view container. So here I can use something like I need to inject view container. So I can keep the name whatever I want. So here I need to use view container ref, okay. So I need to add an element here means, so this dot vc ref, this one is loading, I don't know, vc ref dot come. So we will be having a method that is nothing but create embed view. So it is taking some time. Create embedded view, okay. Here you will be able to see, we using this vc ref, we can do so many concepts. We can dynamically load the component, we can dynamically load the component, these all things we can do it. But right now we are not creating a component, we are trying to create an embedded view. So now this created embedded view will take the template, okay, template will take the template ref. So we have the template ref with us, so let's pass this dot template, okay, that's it. So now when it is false means, what I can do is this dot vc ref dot, you have a method clear, okay, it will clear the template. So it will clear the template here. So now that's it. So now if I try to see the output here, so now see, we are not able to see our element also, the which we have applied our alternative. For example, if I try to apply here true, well, let's try to make it as a default one, true. So here is available, false is there, right? I will try to apply it as a true. Now we need to see our element also, so let's try to see. Okay, this one is not, this is the demo of the structural directive. This is only right, we have applied app alternative available is available. So this one all right, we have applied. Whether we got any error or what, nothing. Let's try to see here, where in this one, right? Yeah, let's try to see in inspect element. Cannot bind, okay. So now we have created our directive, but we haven't added in our app module. Let's go here and let's try to add here our alternate if directive, okay. We need to add it in the declarations. So normally we used to create using the Angular CLI, but this time we have created using the normally manually. Now let's try to see here. I'm able to see that this is the demo of the structural directive when it is false. Now when I toggle here, when I click on this one should hide. Why? Because we are just replicated this if condition. Now if I try to do it here, but ours is not hiding. So let's try to see that ours are not. So now obviously it will be ours. Why? Because we have implemented right this one with alternate if. So these two are normally in if conditions, so Angular default one, but that one is ours. Now if I click here, so ours is not working. So ours is defaultly it is showing. So what it is happening here, when I am trying to click on this is available button, so now this button, this value is going into this directive. If you try to see here on ng on init, I am trying to write this code, but this should not happen it like this. Whenever this input is changing, so we need to re-execute this logic again. So that means where I need to write this input, so on ng on changes, okay. So ng on changes will fire whenever the input value changes. So here I can copy this one and I can paste it into this one. That's it. So now if I go here, so if I click on the toggle, see this time our if condition is also working. So now instead of using Angular's built-in if condition, we can use our alternate if condition. This if condition we can use it. So wherever we want to use in our logic, we can use this app alternative. Whatever the name you want, you can give it. So we have given one big word. So this if, instead of using this star ng if, we can use our star alternative also. So this one is working according to the situation. Okay. So this is how we can create a structural directive. So this is how we'll be creating a structural directive. And instead of having this ng if, so for example, if you remember what I can say, what is that one? TypeScript concept. So we can also use a setter function, okay, for this one. And here you can use, so you will get a condition here. Okay, of type boolean. So in number of scenarios we can use it. So I can paste this one into this one. So this also one and the same only. So now there is no need to implement this one all. So now whenever the input setter function, setters and getters, whenever the input is changing, it will execute this condition. And here we need to use, instead of using this alternative, I can use this condition. That's it. Now if I try to see the output, now then also it will work. Same thing, it will work. Okay. So this is what about the creating of the structural directives. Okay. So this is all about the structural directives. These are the two types of directives that are available in Angular. So that's it. So these all, by this the directives all concept is completed. So in the next session what we'll try to learn is, we'll try to jump in the new topic, that is nothing but a services. So now up to now what we have seen, so we have seen instead of duplicating the logic in the template, so we have used the directives so that we can the template structure, whatever the duplicate thing we are having, we are using this directive thing, we can do it. What about this? For example, let's say that what about this one? So if you are having a something logic which was duplicated, okay, so for example, let's say that let's say that this is our app component.ts. On ng on init, what I will try to do, print 1 to 10. Okay, so this one has to print 1 to 10. So this one will be something like this dot print 1 to 10. So now what I will try to do here, I will have a method print 1 to 10, and this one will loop over. Okay, for let I is equal to 1, I less than or equal to 10. Okay, I plus plus, and I will try to do console.log of I. Okay, so now this one is printing, okay, 1 to 10. So this one will work without any problem. Okay, now if I try to see the output, if I try to see the inspect element, okay, so I'm able to see that I'm able to print 1 to 10. Fine. Now I want to do the same concept in another component. So here also I want to use that same concept. So here also I want to print 1 to 10. So just I'm telling you the scenario. So I want to use the same logic here also it needs to work, but I cannot use it. This is not 1 to 10. Why? Because that method is present in another one. So it is present in another component. There is nothing but here. But here I want to use that same logic. So what I need to do again, I need to write the code. Okay, here again I need to write the code, and I need to print the same thing. So I need to use the same thing. Where is this one gone? Where is this one? Yeah, here I need to use the same thing. I am replicating that one in the next in another component also. Now I am able to get the same output. So here I am able to get 1 to 10 and 1 to 10 the same output. But what we are trying to do, we are duplicating the code here. So tomorrow if I want to change that, suddenly the client asks us don't print 1 to 10, print 1 to 20, means I need to change wherever the things are there. So I need to change it to 20. So this could not be the correct behavior, right? So in order to overcome this one, so in order to overcome this common logic in the TypeScript, so we use the services. So in the next video we'll try to see this. In the services we are having so many different things, so we'll try to learn about the services thing. So this is all about the directives concept. Today we learned about the directives. What is a directive? We have created a basic custom directive, and we have used this renderer 2. Why we need to use the renderer 2 instead of using the native element? And we have seen about the host listener, so to listen to the events for that element directive, and the host binding. So instead of having this all renderer 2 and all those things, we can also use the host binding to bind the value to that property. And ng non-bindable, and also sending data to that custom attribute directives, we have seen it. And also we have seen the structural directives and how it works basically in Angular, we have seen it. And also we have created a custom structural directive, a simple one, ngif, replicating this ngif logic. So we have created a custom structural directive. So this is all about the directives concept. In the next section tomorrow, we'll try to see about the services.